Alright, let's talk about something that just sent shockwaves through the punk community, Blink-182 potentially dropping a new album in 2027. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't this the same band that took 8 years between albums? And you're absolutely right. But here's the kicker. This isn't just another album. It's the 10th one, and it's happening after Tom DeLonge's long-awaited return. Personally, I think this timing is fascinating because it feels like the band is trying to balance nostalgia with reinvention. They're not just recycling old hits, they're building on a legacy that's been both fractured and rebuilt over the years. What makes this really interesting is how Travis Barker, the drummer, framed it during his interview. He didn't just say, "We're working on an album." He said, "We're working on the Blink album this year." That subtle emphasis on Blink feels like a statement. It's almost as if they're reclaiming the name after all the drama, the hiatuses, the lineup changes. And, honestly, I think that's what fans are craving now, a sense of ownership over the band's identity again. Now, let's unpack the timeline. If they're working on it this year, a 2027 release seems inevitable. But why wait so long? From my perspective, it's not just about the music. It's about the narrative. Blink-182 has always been a band that thrives on contrast, their early punk energy versus their later pop-punk evolution. This new era, with DeLonge back in the fold, could be their most ambitious yet. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just a reunion, it's a reset. The 2023 album, One More Time, was a bridge. But this next one? It's the real test. Are they going to lean into the nostalgia, or are they going to push boundaries? I'd wager they're doing both. Think about the cultural moment we're in. Punk isn't what it used to be. It's fragmented, diluted by social media, and yet somehow more relevant than ever. Blink-182 has always been at the intersection of that tension. This album could be their way of saying, "We're still here, but we're not the same." And then there's Travis Barker's documentary, Louder Than Fear. It premieres on Hulu in August, and I'm guessing it's not just a behind-the-scenes look. It's probably a deep dive into the chaos that's defined his career, plane crashes, marriages, and the constant reinvention. But here's the thing. When a musician spends their life in the public eye, their personal story becomes inseparable from their art. Barker's documentary might just be the missing piece that connects his solo work, his production gigs, and his role in Blink-182. It's a rare chance to see how someone who's lived through so much chaos still finds a way to create. What this really suggests is that the line between artist and persona is blurring more than ever. We're not just consuming music anymore, we're consuming the entire mythology around it. But let's not forget the bigger picture. Blink-182's return to form isn't just about the band, it's about the entire punk ecosystem. When a band like this drops a new album, it's a signal. It tells fans, this genre is still alive. It tells critics, don't write us off. And it tells the industry, we're still relevant. I find it fascinating that they're timing this with a European tour in 2027. Why Europe? Maybe because the US market is saturated with nostalgia acts, but Europe still craves authenticity. Or maybe it's a calculated move to build hype in a region that's less influenced by TikTok trends. Either way, it's a bold strategy. And if you take a step back and think about it, this entire rollout from the documentary to the album to the tour feels like a masterclass in modern music marketing. They're not just releasing an album, they're creating an event. A detail I find fascinating is how they're using Travis's other projects, like the Alkaline Trio album, as a stepping stone. It's almost like they're testing the waters before diving headfirst into the Blink-182 comeback. What does that say about their confidence? That they're not rushing the process. They're treating this like a high-stakes gamble, and I can't help but admire that level of restraint. So here's the question. What happens when a band that's been through everything, breakups, comebacks, reinventions, drops a new album after a decade-long hiatus? Do they deliver something that feels fresh, or do they fall into the trap of nostalgia? From my perspective, this is the most important album Blink-182 has made in years. Not because of the music alone, but because of what it represents. It's a testament to resilience, to the idea that even the most broken things can be rebuilt. And if they pull it off, They'll prove that punk isn't dead. It's just evolving one album at a time.